Ah. Hello, my dear.
Hi.
I see Kara. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, we'll just see who's gonna join us today. Ah. Let's get this off of here. Can I find a colored piece of paper somewhere? Not somewhere handy, I don't think.
Hi.
You are? Hello.
How are you?
Good.
I was trying to find my paint, my gold paint. I probably used it like 3 months ago and forgot. Do you have a special project we're doing today?
I would just, I'm feeling called to do a collage project in the frame of something that I was introduced to a while ago. I just don't feel like doodling today. I want to let the images kind of call to me today, so we'll see how that goes. I don't know if Gail's going to be joining us or not.
I actually clicked on the link and it worked. I was like, hallelujah.
Yay!
So I'm just painting this little canvas with Quinn Gold.
Oh, pretty. Yeah, I've discovered that I have quite a collection of little canvases too that I could play with a little bit. I was feeling.
I already went to laughter yoga today.
Oh, yay.
And then I FaceTimed with my granddaughter.
Nice.
And then I said, noon time, I'm coming.
Yay.
Wait for me.
So glad you're here. So glad you're here. Oh, and someone else is joining us too. Somebody else just came in. Who just came in?
Anyone sleep last night?
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Oh,
Hi, I'm late at setting
I'm
up.
gonna have to
So I
get.
called to talk to me and I just couldn't get off the phone.
I'm gonna have to go get a glass of water. I'll be right back.
All right.
Oh.
I'm not set up, but I'm going to do my best right now.
Well, I'm using a mini canvas.
Oh, let me see. Oh, I love those. I have them, look, I don't know if you could see from far on my window. I have a
Oh,
box.
you have a bunch of them?
Yeah, they're so nice when you put them all together, but
Now,
they're
wait, are they boxes or are they little canvases?
some are panel and some are canvas.
Oh,
You want to see
nice.
them up close?
Yeah, I have,
What are you doing on them?
what?
What are you painting on them?
Oh, this is Quinn. I'm using Quinn Gold
Uh-huh.
for the background. And then I made little acrylic patches out of my palette, you know, the paint that's left over on your palette.
Of course, yes.
And so I'm going to cut these into hearts because I just feel like I need hearts today.
Mhm.
And I'm going to put them all over here.
No, that's a fun thing to do. I save that paint. I have boxes of it and I love it. These are actually, it's funny because I don't know where I found these the other day, but these are not the glued are not glued on paint skins. These are just old collages that are built up in like 50,000 layers. But I
Nice.
cut them up into little pieces. They were full size, like 20 by 30 collages. So I didn't plan on using them today, but who knows? I have no plan. But hearts are a very nice idea today. I get it.
Yeah.
Yep, yep.
Hi, Nanette.
Hello, hello. So,
I'm gonna try to get myself on my to my creative phone right now, so I could see what I'm doing, which I'm doing nothing.
Creative what?
Nothing. Oh, I had to shut off my phone. That was right. I couldn't.
Oh, I don't even know where mine is. I have no idea. Oh, it's plugged in.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I could face it down. I just found a lot of black monoprints that I was doing in the garage, and black and white, and I just started to see little women in it and girls, and I don't know what they're going to be, but they were just pieces of black paper, and I felt a connection. But what I wanted to do today was just rubbings of leaves, etc., outside, and create figures on them, which I've done before because I love the rubbings, the shapes that they make, similar to monoprints.
mm-hmm.
I don't really have a plan, so we'll see. But yesterday,
Okay,
this is
so
very
Facebook
crude.
really being
I was
very
thinking about, can you see me?
give me a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, there, I see, yes.
No, I was just thinking about,
Oh, look at
I
that.
have black and white, but I started to think about finger pointing, that people are pointing fingers and blaming and all this, and how even a child is taught to finger point, but all they really need is love and
Mhm.
honesty, but we all need community.
Yeah.
All those arms should be wrapped around each other as opposed to pointing fingers at each other. I was thinking of people pointing weapons and pointing tear gas and pointing fingers and pointing blame.
Yeah.
And it's sad. And I know that I and so many people around me are guilty of doing that our whole lives, and it forces us not to look at ourselves.
Hmm. Interesting observation.
Well, I just made it, so I think I need to think more about that.
Yeah, one of the things that I have challenged myself with in the last few years is to really peel back the layers on judgment,
Yes.
you know,
I just
of
had-
anybody or anything, and of myself, of, you know, and the big challenges are, you know, to work that exercise with yourself when there are people and energies and philosophies that are on every level I can imagine just completely unacceptable. And yet at the same time, if I'm going to practice this position of non-judgment, then I have to be willing to peel the layers back there too. Not an easy thing.
No, and you know, you're talking about peeling back the layers, and I was thinking of stamping with vegetables, and I had an onion in my hand, an open onion.
Mm,
And I was thinking, what happens when we start peeling an onion back and we start playing with onions? Tears fall.
yes.
And that's making me sad right now.
Yeah. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Let's go back to Kara's hearts.
Well, we can't ignore it, but yes, the hearts, we need a place of comfort as well, right?
Yes.
So let's hear more about the hearts, Kara.
Well, just generally, I took the quin and painted it on this tiny canvas. And then I just cut out one of the hearts from
Nice.
kind of translucent in places so the color will show through. And I'm not sure how I'll place it yet. Maybe like triangular.
Nice.
And I just cut out, I'm starting to cut out tiny hearts to
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'll overlap some edges and things.
Oh, and I love that they're colorful hearts, that they're not, they signify, well, to me, they seem to symbolize the variety in our lives and all the colors around us, and that there's so much beauty in mixing and matching colors together. They all work together to create a heart.
Yeah, I kind of needed, what is it called? Like a juxtaposition to everything else in the world.
Yes. And I
Somebody
think
has to do it.
before you joined us, Gail, I was sharing with Kara that I decided today I'm going to do play with a collaging exercise, and which is to very quickly flip through magazines and pick and only work with images, no words.
Right, I know your process on that.
Yeah, and allow myself to just let the images come forward. And then the way that this is done is you deliberately cut around the image.
Mm-hmm.
You do them one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And you move the clutter out of your space and you place the image one at a time, each time connecting it to the next one and moving them around on the page until you feel like you're complete. And it's all intended to be done in a fairly limited amount of time. 60 minutes is going to be plenty.
No judgment.
No judgment. You never question it. If something calls you, you pull it out, cut it out, put it down.
What did you say about the edges, cutting something about the edges?
So rather than often when we think about collaging with magazine items or in vision boards, for example, people very frequently cut squares around a bouquet of flowers, for example. And in this exercise, the intention is to deliberately cut around the edge of the petals of the flowers.
Is that so you're being more attentive to it?
Yeah, exactly. Your subconscious is processing the image as opposed to processing a picture frame.
So you're being really mindful of.
Yes. And at the same time, you're not questioning it or judging it. You're simply observing it, but with all of its detail. Not by hand, with all of its detail.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you place it, you're having the experiences of the connection between them and how they interrelate and how
to you, right? And on a personal level. Do you always know when you're connecting them, why you're connecting them?
No, there's no why. Yeah, so the why is the why is not for me. Why becomes about creating, implying meaning and implying intention or judgment. about it.
Mhm.
And so the process is simply about awareness and acknowledgement and observation.
Mhm.
And then when you step away, you have an opportunity to look and see what story might be sharing itself.
It'd be fun to write a story after you do that.
Yeah. I've
It's a story you could have never imagined, I'm sure.
yes, yeah. And some of these that I have done really, and what caught my attention, I was looking for a picture earlier today, and I think that's why this came to mind, because I saw a picture of one of these that I've done before.
Uh-huh.
That was really delightful and just full of joy and this expansion of a positive emotion, happy emotion. And so that really spoke to me today.
All right. I'm
Anyway,
paying attention. I can't get internet on my phone, so I can't show you what I'm doing, and I can't figure it out.
yeah, I was trying to get to the Facebook page to see if anybody was there, trying to figure out how to get on.
Right.
That happens periodically.
You want me to try to look?
And I can't get on the Facebook page. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I can't get on. There's no internet on my phone, and I don't know why.
Do you want me to try, Nanette? I can look.
See if there's.
How would you find that? Oh, sorry.
If they're one, I could tell them to go to the direct link. Is the
Yes, and that's so I told a couple of people to jump over there to get the link, but maybe they haven't been able to get to the page. So I was trying to get there to get the link.
Confusing because I had to copy and paste the link and then put it into Safari. It tells me to do that each time.
Oh, you're an Apple gal. Yeah, can't help you with that. Sorry.
All right, let me see if I could get on. I really want to be able to share what I'm doing, or what I might be doing anyway.
Here it is. Here it is.
Come on, conscious creators, let me in.
Yeah, oh, yeah, and look, so it just did it to me too.
It says no internet.
It gave me an iCal file. What is that all about?
Wow. I'm sorry. I guess I'll just have to hold things up.
Okay, here's the Zoom meeting link.
Nanette, when it says, do you want to share a room? Is that something we could do here or no?
I've not played with rooms. The way rooms work is so that if you have a large group and you want people to break off into private little conversations,
okay.
Then you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done it myself. I've been in groups where we've done it.
Mm-hmm.
I just we don't have a big enough group here for it to really be necessary.
Yeah, I can't get it.
Okay, let me see if
they're going through the same frustration.
Yeah, I put a note in, but it's the same thing. It says no internet.
Oh, you have the same thing?
Yeah, but I'm on my phone. I'm in your Facebook.
Yeah, same. So we obviously have internet. Just can't get into that. Well, we'll have to play and video.
Yeah, and we'll just know that people will be seeing us in the recording.
The what is it called? The connecting thing is working on email, if they can get to their email.
Oh, maybe somebody could.
Yeah, and I was able to just copy it.
Let's try that. I'm going to try that.
Finally, it let me do that.
What are we supposed to do with this? Join Zoom meeting. Open this page in Zoom. Hello. I don't know how I got here, but I'm here. Join with video in a minute, I will.
Yeah, hopefully that's going to work. Okay.
It's gone.
How are you doing there? All right. Yeah. Let me see if I can get my other phone going too. If I can get my other phone going, then maybe we'll be okay. Let's see.
Download from App Store. Come on. Open. Okay, I think I might be here. Join with video. Nanette,
Mm-hmm.
can you see me?
Let's see. Yeah, you're there twice. Yep. And now I'm here twice too. So I'm going to put mine. But I need to turn off.
We have that audio.
Yeah, turn your audio off.
Yeah.
On
Now I know how to do it. Okay, am I good?
Yep, you're good. And I think
Okay.
I'm good. Now, whoop. Except that I'm throwing my phone around. Okay.
Well, you see, we do learn each time because I only know how to do that from all the other weeks that I couldn't figure out how to do it. So there's a learning curve.
Oh, what just happened? Oh, there's Mary.
Hi, Mary. Wow, we have a big group today.
Yes. Let's see.
Lucky
And
us.
my other. Oh, this is my camera. Good. All right. There's my hands. Yay.
Let me see. Oh, I have to put on more people. There you are. I see you. Are you scratching some leaves?
This is an old artist sketchbook.
Uh-huh.
This is a leftover from Trash to Treasure that has this great earth tone paper in it. You know, the
I love that.
paper in it. Yeah.
You just reminded me of what I'd like to do today. I should get all my sketchbooks and do the covers.
Ooh, there you go.
I wanted to do that for so long. Maybe I'll bring one or two in here.
Ah, so do you have a candle today, Gail?
I will get you one right now. Hold on.
A candle for what?
To start, just not just to start, to give us a little placeholder. There's everybody. Ah, yeah, it takes us a while to get set up. Welcome, Mary.
I'm trying to put the camera on Zoom too, so I can show you my stuff.
Yes. Yeah, if you can, and the trick is just don't turn the voice on, don't turn the audio on the second device.
I'm lighting my candle, our candle.
Yes, beautiful, beautiful. There's just something about that sets the place for us. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
This one is cinnamon spiced vanilla.
Ooh, very nice. Ah, there you go, Mary. Beautiful. So we each have our extra little cameras for our stuff.
How do I don't see everybody's.
So if you go to that view space, mine has a thing in the corner with a bunch of little dots.
A grid.
Yeah, and one of those toggles should give you all 7 squares in your screen.
I have 7. So I see your table and my table, but I don't see anybody else's creative table.
Mary's working on getting hers set up.
Oh.
She's got 2.
Mary, you know how to flip the screen?
Yeah, so if you have to flip the screen on the, go to the back camera, back view.
Like when you take a picture.
Yes.
So, or just place it like, so what I did with mine is I just placed mine upside down. I just turned it upside down. Yeah, so flip it so it's facing down. There you go. Now we can see your keyboard.
Okay, I gotta get my thing, but go ahead and do what you gotta do. And I'm gonna.
Okay. All right. So I would like to take a minute to bring everybody to the space. We've been chatting along and getting comfortable, and Kara's been painting away, and Gail's been gathering, and I've been gathering, and we've been, so take a moment to center yourself, however it is that you choose to. Thank you, Gail, for bringing a candle. Here we are. This is the Conscious Creators Cafe. And yeah, we're here to create. And we're creating, not only are we creating our things, whatever they are, whether it's a painting or a collage or a piece of writing, anything that we're working with, not only are we creating those, but we're creating the connection here and the sharing, right? We're creating the experience for us, and we're creating the experience for people who dial in and watch the recording later. So thank you all for being here and sharing all of yourselves. And
Thank you for making the space for us to do this, Nanette.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, it feels good. It feels good to come. And I think it was last week, Gail, you said, no matter how it is that we show up, we always leave feeling better for having been here.
Oh, I do always. I always do.
Yeah. There's just something that the practice, the process of beginning to give attention to whatever it is that we're making, and most of us when we come, we don't even know what it's going to be. Just being in that space of allowing the creation to become gives us an opportunity to recognize, for me, it gives me an opportunity to recognize that the power that I hold within myself to shift how it is that I'm being in the moment, and to choose how it is that I want to interact with the people around me, the things around me, the influences around me, which I want to let in, which I don't. And which I want to use in this moment to inform whatever it is I'm going to put on the paper.
So are we deciding what we want to bring into the space with us and what we want to leave at the door or outside the door?
I love that. Yes. So take a minute simply to allow yourself to process what it is you'd like to bring in and what it is you'd like to leave at the door.
I'd like to leave out the volume on my phone in case it rings. I'm shutting that off.
There we go. Yeah, shutting off interruptions. That's always a beautiful gift. A beautiful gift. Yeah, and I want to be open to receive. And I want to leave at the door any resistance to whatever might show up. Anyone else like to share?
For me,
Yeah.
This gives me time to rest.
To rest?
Yeah, it gives me, it's an enjoyable time for me. I'm always going.
Yeah.
This is truly dessert.
Nice. Yeah, and it's a pause, isn't it? It's a pause in all of the busyness and all the noise and all of that. It's just a moment to
and I would never do this. And
Yeah.
this of the day. So for me to make this is I want to be able to make this something for myself.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you. So glad you're here. Anything you'd like to add, Kara?
Yeah, I think it has to start somewhere, and it's starting here in your group, and perhaps it will kind of flow to the rest of the world little by little.
Yeah. Yeah, we plant those little seeds, don't we? And we don't know where they go energetically.
Yeah.
They blow in the wind.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, beautiful. All right, my friends, let's get to it. Whatever it is that you are choosing to create. Before you came in, Mary, I was sharing that this process of collaging where you simply look to the images to inspire and you take them one at a time and let them, and it's only images, it's not words. And one at a time, we get to cut them carefully. We need to find a.
You know, what's interesting is that for some people, cutting carefully makes life easier for them when they're doing collages. And for me, it makes me very tense. I find it so difficult to cut around an image. And I would like to be, because I keep thinking that it would help me be more organized in my everyday life.
Yeah, that's
If
an
I started
interesting
doing little
observation.
things yeah, it just seems like a very deliberate thing to do, which is interesting because the process that you described for yourself and for your project, Nanette, sounds like it's not a deliberate, I mean, you're making deliberate choices when you choose something, but for no reason, no why.
Yeah, and
But
it's
it's
not
interesting how the cutting
planned.
itself is deliberate. Pardon me?
It's not planned. The only
Right.
thing that's planned is the container.
And the cutting.
Yeah, and there are some general rules, if you will, and I like to live in the world of no rules, right?
Uh-huh.
So this process does have some general rules, and the general rules are intended to connect you to the energy that is creating this collection of images that become a story. And being in this space of not informing the story with our intellect, but simply allowing our other senses to make the choices.
And Nanette, how do I show you with my phone?
Okay, so I'm seeing there, you got it. We can see you. We can see it.
Oh,
Yep.
Mary, did you write your poem?
Yeah, look, she did. She wrote on it. Yeah.
Oh, I'm hoping that maybe we could hear it later on or at some point.
It's not my poem. It's Nanette gave me a set of cards, and they're mantras from and so every day I read one of the cards, and this one really stuck out for me. And, it was about enjoying life. And so Kara, I love to doodle. I love to color in those books. And I'm not a beautiful artist like Gail and all of you guys, but I love to do all that stuff.
We're all beautiful artists. Don't say that.
So this one says, today I will do something that is fun. I will find something that is just for me. And I won't worry about what I should be doing. I will learn how to make myself feel good and enjoy life to its fullest.
Beautiful.
And I thought that this picture was a great thing of that because I love gardening. And I garden in the back, in which I'm going to have you come over and see all the beautiful flowers as soon as all this rain stops.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, so Mary, where you're holding the camera now, yeah, slide it more toward your, let's see, that's going to be toward the center of your body. Yeah, yeah.
We're only seeing part of, we're only
Yeah,
seeing
so
part of
push
it.
push it, so you're holding it in your right or left hand?
left.
There you go. Okay, so yeah, now that's good. We're seeing, yes, now
We're
we
seeing more.
We see more of it. Very nice with the flowers in her hair.
Very pretty.
Could you turn the picture upside down?
Mhm.
Now it looks right side up to us.
Yes.
Now move the
beautiful.
picture up. Now push the picture up a little bit.
Or actually
Oh,
pull it
down.
pull it to your thighs. Keep going and
Oh, yeah,
then
that's
push
a good way to do it.
Yeah, there you go.
Push it to your left thigh now.
Other way.
Other way, the opposite direction.
Left to your left. Mary.
There.
We got it.
That's beautiful.
You see
Oh,
what we can do as
I
a
love
team?
the sparkles, the stars.
Uh-huh.
Oh, the other
Team-
way, the other way. No,
Towards your left leg.
The other way. Yeah.
There. Yes. Yeah. The embellishment is fun. The addition of the bling is always nice. Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is, I have, my dogs have not eaten it. So I have my frame and I'll show you in just a second what I'm gonna do.
Nanette, what is that on your page? It looks so interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. It actually was.
Is it a pattern?
It's a piece of jewelry. It's from a
Oh,
pad. Yeah,
it
it was
looks so cool.
Yeah, and so this is a great example of the process, right? Which
Yeah.
is not, I'm not connecting to the fact that it's a piece of jewelry.
Right. It's shape, a shape or shape.
It's shapes, it's shading, it's light, it's all kinds of things. And
I find it so fascinating. I've been looking at it for the last few minutes, trying to figure out what that is, and I just love it.
And so so again, part of the practice is to detach from figuring out what it is.
I see.
Let it inform simply by its essence, whatever the essence of it is, and use that. So, and what was fun about this is the first piece of the process is to find what you want to have as a central image. And I picked up this magazine and I turned it over and this was on the back. And so it's the very first image I came to. And immediately I knew that was going to be the central image.
You just know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, and in some circles, they encourage you to look with a veiled eye. I don't know if you've done that exercise in art classes or in other meditative circles where you
squint.
You sort of squint. You're not focused on what the thing is. You're simply seeing the image, the sort of the outline, the shadow, and the intention again is not for me to focus on, I'm looking at a box of Neutrogena makeup remover,
right?
But to be focused on something else that could be speaking to me on the page.
Right.
And the corner of that image, which happens to be this white, you can see here. So maybe this is calling to me, or maybe these are calling to me.
Right. Right. Well, have fun. I was going to do the cover, but this is a book that has a lot of unfinished sketches in it. I don't know what I'm doing today.
Can I encourage you not to overthink it?
Yeah, I think I just have too much stuff around me, and all of it is brown paper. So I think I have to find something that's not brown paper and just play with that.
What happened to your circles?
They became, what did they become? They became people somehow. I forget. I'd have to follow my Facebook or my Instagram to know what happened to them, but they definitely became seated people somehow. I wouldn't even know where to look for them. Oh, no, I don't know. Yeah, I'll show you one. Hold on. I think this is one, but the only reason I think so is because I did leave one circle. There's one.
Mm-hmm.
So the circle, there was a circle here and a circle here.
I love it.
Yeah, and I don't know what happened, but out of all of them, this is the one I like the most for some reason. The rest, what happened? Pardon me?
I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you.
Oh, you're not really seeing it there. That's the way.
I know.
There it is. So what happened with the other circles is I got too tight and tried to make them something, and I don't like them as much as the other one because they're too perfect. They're not perfect. They're perfectly imperfect. This is what was left over from all the circles, and only one remained as circles and remained expressive. And that's usually my goal, is just to keep it as loose as possible, like this.
Yeah, I find sometimes too, I get frustrated when I feel myself trying to contrive it too much, you know,
Right.
trying to make it be something.
Well, you know what, Mary? I think I should just start with circles because that's how that happened. And maybe that's what I need to do today, is go back to the simplicity of circles. So thank you for reminding me. We were watching a movie or something the other day, and people were wheeling. They were from another country, and they were wheeling. It was a band. It was from the movie The Band's Visit, which was a Broadway show as well. And they're wheeling their bags along this road and they have these huge instruments. And I'm thinking, I said to my husband, whoever invented the wheel did everybody such a big favor.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if there were no wheels? So these circles are reminding me of all the wheels and the way the wheels are turning in our heads when we're thinking, and everything's just circular. And I love the enzos that we were talking about last week, Nanette, because they're imperfect circles.
Yes.
And they're never the same, and we should have no expectation of these circles in our lives because they're ever changing. And the way they look one week, which were my circles last week that Mary remembered, are so different from how they look right now.
Yes. Yeah, and I love that they capture the essence of a moment in time.
Right. So I think maybe I'll just keep, when I don't know what to do, I'm just going to draw circles on top of circles on top of circles. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. Mary, I'm glad you showed up.
Yes.
I was feeling a little stuck.
I wanted to show you. Sorry, we're here on this stuff.
We have a little trouble hearing you, Mary.
Yeah, I definitely have trouble hearing.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, much better.
Yeah.
Can you see?
Oh, yes, perfect.
Yes.
Yes, that's
Perfect.
a perfect shot. Yes.
I've had this, these. So I had this picture frame and I had chicken wire from in the back in the garden. And I stapled the chicken wire back onto the back of the frame last night so that I can make a message board.
Ah, very nice.
Wait, hold on, I'll turn it upside down. Hold on, sorry. So I have a little butter, there's two, these are magnetized.
Oh, I see. Very cool.
Nice.
And then I'm gonna put the little, and I'll put the rest of the embellishments. And then I have a paper lantern I'm hanging down at the bottom that's got a light. You see?
Nice.
Beautiful. I love
If
the
I had,
chicken wire on the frame. That's such a great idea.
yeah, if I had chicken wire right now, I think I would spray paint it to get the shapes on a piece of paper.
Yes, use
Or
it as,
use it as a
a
stencil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun. Very fun.
Nice, Mary. I like that you're making it something that you can utilize. You know, people keep messaging me online what to do with the paper, what I do with the paper bags if they were to purchase them. And I think there's so many choices. I don't have a right answer for that one.
Oh,
You want
that
a
is
sculpture, you want to
interesting.
frame it,
Right.
you
Yeah.
want to hang it, you want to just look at it. I gave it to my sister as she needed something today and I left it outside for her because she was flying recently. So I'm distancing a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I used it as a gift bag for her.
Yes.
Yeah. Anything can be anything and anything can be everything.
And I think it's fun to consider the non-traditional ways to display your creations.
Right. So if somebody wants to ask me and tell me, I'm okay with that too.
So sometimes I make a choice of something like this that I have to cut, not have to, that I'm choosing to cut deliberately. I pause for a minute and reflect on, did I really want to choose this thing that has all this detail?
Oh, because it's such hard work. It's
Yeah,
so
and
intricate.
because like you, yeah, it feels like too much work on some level, right? There's a part of me that wants to say, that's too much work, just forget it. It's not that important. And then
But
I go
in the
back,
end,
then I go
it'll
back to the
pay off.
process.
Right, it'll pay off in the end because it won't necessarily be that anymore.
Right.
So I really loved the idea. I loved how it looked with that jewelry that I couldn't figure out what it was. And when I look at artwork, and we were thinking of maybe even going by the Boca Museum today. When I
Yes.
look at artwork, I love that mystery of being like, what did they do? How did they do that? What is that? And
Yes.
I know that piece of jewelry would definitely have me wondering, what was that? How did she do that?
Mm-hmm.
The Boca Museum is open today?
I think that's what he said. I don't know.
Yes,
That's what
I
heard.
believe so. Technically,
And it's free, I believe, until
People are
September.
going out and going to places again?
Well, I'm not, but I was thinking that maybe it's possible to distance in there. It wasn't my idea.
Oh, no, I
But-
didn't even mean the distancing. I meant all of the
Yes,
and that
yeah,
we're supposed to
yes.
yeah, the
Go
governor has said, and the county has said that museums can be open.
Oh,
And
good.
so certain ones are opening. I saw the library was open also.
I think that, but they have very specific measures in place.
Exactly. So things are different, obviously. It's not the way that it was pre-COVID, but there are things that are available for people to go see.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really actually feel safe anywhere. And that's just me. I'm I'm a big chicken. Everybody thinks I'm so open and raring to go and a wild child, but maybe in my artwork I am not in real life.
Mm. Well, and it
I'm-
isn't that what part of what makes creating so special is that we can, it can represent a part of ourselves that we don't access in other ways.
You can
Oh,
feel pretty safe going to all the different sculpture gardens.
right. Where, like, I was thinking of that, even going to a gardening center and just draw. Well, today's not a good day for it, but even like just drawing shapes that I see and just loosely doing the botanicals,
Yes.
yeah. So I'm thinking of doing something like that because I'd be outside and I don't have to be on top of anybody. I still won't go into a grocery store or anything like that. In fact, you just remind me, somebody was supposed to bring me food today and oh gosh, well, she'll figure it out. But I forgot all about it. I have no food and I forgot that somebody's helping me get food today.
Mm.
Oh gosh. So are you guys not going out as well?
Oh, I go out, but I'm just very careful about what I do and where I go all
Mhm.
the time.
Yeah, I have gone out also. Not
Yeah, Nanette, I saw that you did, yeah.
not with a lot of frequency. And
And
I've been the person doing the shopping. So
uh-huh.
the first time I tried to do online grocery, it was like a 5-day wait. And that was,
I found
Really?
that Shipt,
I use Shipt.
SHIPT comes the same or the next day.
Same day. I've never even had it the next day. It's been the same day.
If you use Shipt.
yeah, well, and I tried to do it right in the very beginning, and then I said, this isn't going to work. So then we got into the habit of just doing a once a week, go to the store, which
Do you go at a certain time when it's less crowded, or is there such a thing anymore?
I go at 7.
Do you?
Yeah.
Are they open now at 7?
It's difficult for me to get up, but I
Uh-huh.
drag myself there once a week at 7.
Oh, because I didn't think they were open that early.
But Whole Foods is open at 7.
yeah,
Oh.
And
different
there's usually like
stores.
10 people who also have dragged themselves.
Right.
Oh. Well, that's good to know.
And
I think.
and the stores now recently when I've gone in, they haven't had the need to, but the stores continue to be counting and limiting the number of people.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, and there's directions. You're supposed to go down the aisles in order, so that you're not passing people.
Right. So let me just ask you this. We keep passing by Walmart and Target and that, and it looks like the parking lots are full.
Oh yeah,
Same with Whole Foods.
Yep, there are people in them. Yep.
But does
Target was boarded up yesterday.
what was Target was?
Yeah, so and you're going to encounter some people out there without masks on because
Those are the people I'm afraid of.
yeah, because there are certain businesses are requiring them and certain businesses are not, because the governor and the county and the cities have not formally said you must.
Right.
Where next level of return to business.
Right. Where my kids are in Canada, in Montreal, and where I grew up in this area called Côte Saint-Luc, it's the first municipality in Canada that's requiring all businesses to enforce mask wearing. And well, I can't get into detail about it because my son-in-law is a city councilor, but it doesn't mean he agrees with it. Or my daughter, she goes, Mom, you sent me to law school. Don't expect me to agree with that.
Right.
But they actually are going to enforce it. They have a very elderly population, and a lot of people have passed away. and they're making extra restrictions just to keep people safe.
That's nice.
Yeah. I have asthma, and when I wear a mask, it's really hard to breathe. I'm having breathing problems as it is, but I'm not just doing it for me. I feel like I'm doing it for anybody else who might be compromised next to me or who could be compromised next to me. But I'm not going anywhere, so you don't have to worry about catching anything. I mean, unless you go to the museum and I decide I'm going to do that. It's something I'm contemplating. They have a portrait, some type of portrait exhibit there, and a photography exhibit that looks very interesting. I think from the 1920s.
Is the Norton
very fun.
open? Do you know if the Norton is open?
No, I don't. We went to a really nice museum. It was an ancient museum in Palm Beach before all this happened, and I forget the name of it. And they had a beautiful outdoor garden.
The Norton.
Is it? I don't know if it was
the Norton was recently.
It wasn't the Norton. It was the Armory Center, maybe. Is that possible?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And their garden was beautiful. I would do that.
We have to call first because they were totally closed down the whole day and night yesterday.
Okay.
I saw from one of my friends who lives there.
The Norton, you mean?
No, the
Or the Armory?
West Palm Beach area.
Mm.
Oh, the town, yeah, for riots and problems.
Oh, yeah, I did see Worth Avenue was boarded up.
Let's see what else.
I'm doing. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a mess on something that I probably worked really hard on, and I'm just going to go over it. If you would like to bear witness to me taking a beautiful drawing and making circles on it.
Mm.
It was just too perfect. I mean, there were rectangles and squares and designs, patterns. Let's make it something that it wasn't. How's everybody else doing out there?
Good. Just cutting away.
How do we do this now? You hold your phone over it? Oh, wait, I'm not on my phone.
Oh,
That's
you
not,
couldn't get on your. I ended up getting on through. I
maybe
guess
I can do
told
it.
me to do it through email.
Can you? Wait, I guess. I have to
Pull
upside
it
down.
closer to
Oh,
you.
yeah, there. Okay.
Go closer to you, to your body.
Yes.
More. Yes. Yeah. Perfect.
Nice.
That's just so far. I haven't.
Very nice.
Yet.
Is that still the paint skins, or you gave up on the hearts?
Oh no, I've decided to go along and try to do that free cutting because I thought that
Oh, okay.
was really good for the psyche.
I wonder if we should have all done that.
Well, the intention here is to come and do whatever you feel called to do and to join along
Right.
if you'd like or not.
Exactly.
Okay.
I just was finding words again this morning. I saw watching birds, which had obviously a double meaning to me because I love to put birds and nests in my paintings.
Yes.
But then that bird watching incident, the racist incident a few days ago, or was it last week, gave it a different meaning when I saw it. And then I found another one that just popped up that said right at home, like last week that we were talking about being at home.
Yes.
So right now oh, look at this. This was on the back of something and it says, sorry.
Ah,
I like how all those work together.
yes.
And I think
Yeah.
they're going to go onto this page that I just destroyed.
When I cut out these stripes and I pulled it apart, I didn't realize I had two papers together, and on the back of the stripes,
Uh-huh.
circles.
What were they?
Circles, like on the second page.
Oh.
I got the stripes and circles.
Circles and stripes instead of stars and stripes. That's the fun part, is discovering those surprises.
Yes.
Maybe it's time to make a bird, but I'm keeping sorry out. I don't know about, we grew up in a generation where hugs, kisses, and all that other stuff was not a commonplace. I don't know if it was Dr. Spock or the doctors used to teach parents that they're giving their kids too much attention or too much love.
Mhm.
And saying sorry was something that we were 4 kids in my family. Somebody forgot to tell us to say sorry. So it feels good to say sorry.
Mm.
It's difficult to do, but that's because things are ingrained when we're younger that are not necessarily good for our health or for anybody around us. So sorry's being glued down today to remind me. And Nanette, you were saying something before that had to do with this as well, and it resonated, and now I can't remember what it was. Can you remember what you were saying that maybe made sense with that? About thinking, we're looking at ourselves, maybe? Was it about looking at ourselves, or?
Oh, and peeling back the layers.
Yes.
Judgment. Yes.
Yeah.
And so I don't recall that I said it, but it's just interesting
Implied.
that the energy came through, because this morning I was reminded while I was doing a little bit of my morning meditation and morning reflection. It's really not a meditation, it's a reflection. I was reminded of the Hawaiian prayer, Ho'oponopono, which
What is that?
is a prayer of healing. And it was used within families to heal wounds within, conflict within the family.
Oh.
And it's in its current use, people often activate it as a call for collective healing. And it's 4 phrases, and the first one is, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And that's it.
Please share that somewhere where I won't.
Yeah.
Let me write it down.
Yeah.
And it's a Hawaiian prayer that families use?
Prayer. It's a Hawaiian traditional prayer. It's called Ho'oponopono. Can
you spell that, please?
I'll have to look it up.
Okay. Hana, just say it.
It's H-O apostrophe O, O, H-O apostrophe O, N-O, Ho'ono, P-O-N-O, Pono, P-O-N-O. If you get close and you Google it, you'll find it.
I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
Thank you.
And thank you.
I love you. I'm sorry.
Please forgive me. I love you.
Forgive me and thank you?
Yes.
That should be plastered on the wall of every home.
Yeah, if you have conflict, even if it's conflict that you're not acknowledging with another person, for example, somebody who's come into your life and you're jealous of, let's say, or you're And, you know, and this is perfect for our social media driven world, right? Where we have emotional responses to things that we see posted or printed that really have nothing to do with us, but they trigger some kind of a response. And this can be used as a way to clear that. Also, if it is someone where you know you've had some kind of a riff, right? You're not necessarily going to go sit in front of that person and hold their hands and share this, but you can imagine that person and have this.
You send out that energy.
Send out that energy.
Mm.
And that's the idea. In the traditional form, they did convene a family gathering where this was shared as part of the ritual.
You would think when I did my marriage and family therapy degree, my master's, that would have been the first thing that we should have been taught.
Yes.
To share with the families. I mean, that is just beautiful.
Yeah, and it's interesting. You know, I've in recent history, I get a big kick out of how in different circles. So I'm sure in your training, you were given some similar tool or awareness, right? But it was framed under some, you know, technical therapeutic language that probably felt a little stifling or would have felt stifling for me.
I don't remember apologies ever being part of the training.
Really?
I'll tell you the first thing I remember learning. It was maybe, I don't know if it was my first day or my first week, and it stuck with me, is that any change in the system changes the entire system.
Yes.
So even if somebody sets the table differently than normally,
Yes.
or turns the volume on differently, or turns off the volume, or moves something that's predictable or that's usual, it's like, you know, like changing the temperature in your house. It's a change in homeostasis. It's imbalance. It's either balancing or imbalancing. So saying I'm sorry, maybe it's just something that wasn't in my lexicon enough growing up, and I didn't hear them teaching us that.
Yes.
But I would think that it would have stood out just as what you just said stood out so much, which was just beautiful. And I'm never letting go of that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to study it, write it, color it, draw it, and feel it, and try to actually embody that, because it was just beautiful. And we are a blended family, and that would be something that absolutely would be a wonderful thing to have amongst us. That's really a beautiful thing to pass down in generations.
Yes, it is. It is.
So,
and it doesn't require, the beauty of it is it doesn't require any confrontation, right? It doesn't have to be set up as this big thing.
Intervention.
Right? Yeah, we don't have to have a family intervention.
Right.
Let's all get together and honopono.
Right. Let's pono.
Yeah, and at the same time, if each person quietly takes a moment over the course of time to acknowledge their contribution to the, as you say, to the homeostasis or to the system, right? And to acknowledge that there are parts of that that they contribute to and both detract from, right? That it's it can be a beautiful thing.
You know that picture I showed you before with the finger pointing?
Yes.
So it's pretty much the opposite of, I know it's not clear, it's really not clear, but it's really the opposite of the finger pointing.
It is exactly the opposite of that. Yes.
It's all of these people in the system becoming one, whether they speak of it or they don't speak of it. But if they all recognize it, or if there's a reminder, even if it's just a sign or a symbol in the home or wherever you go, or maybe somebody would have it in a tattoo, I don't know.
Yes.
And I'm sure there is such a thing. I'll research that some more. then it could be unspoken if it is difficult for maybe an elder to apologize to somehow to a younger person because of
Mhm.
not necessarily ego, but just that old fashioned
Yeah,
that respect your elders.
it's systemic, right? At some
Right.
level.
That's exactly what it is. It's systemic.
And I think that's the thing, what I appreciate about it is that it allows us to acknowledge that the system exists
Mm-hmm.
without making the system wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Simply acknowledge our contribution and the way that we can shift our own way of relating to the system.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. So if I didn't show up today, I wouldn't know that.
Right? Yeah, yeah.
So it didn't mean I have to create art, which I'm just making a little bit of a mess today. It means I've learned something that is going to contribute to my life and to hopefully to others who know me or who meet me.
Yes, yes, yes.
But do you know in Hawaii how, or at some point wherever this is used, how it's used? If there's a conflict in the home, is there one person who's designated to be the person who reminds people, or?
I don't know in modern time. That would be interesting to look up. I think in the ancient times, it was an elder, who
brought people together and said, this is the time for a
yes,
ceremony. That's
yeah.
beautiful.
Um,
Love it.
Isn't this interesting? I love when that happens. It happened to Kara earlier, where I'm cutting this black swirl image here. And I flipped it over because I want to get this little piece of white off, and I was having trouble doing it because of the angle. And I flipped it over, and it has this beautiful brown shading on the other side that's really lovely.
Wow. It almost looks like a drip, like tie-dye.
Yes, exactly.
Like a watercolor.
Yep. So maybe I have a smaller pair of scissors sometimes. That's helpful.
I wish I had scissors here. You're making me want to use scissors today. Hold on.
And I don't, I'm like you, I like to rip with my fingers a lot, the same way I paint with my fingers.
Yeah, but there's a shape in here. I have this, I tore it out. I think it's the front of a church, but there's a reflection of branches on the building, and I somehow wanted to cut that off because it's so pretty and use it. It's showing something organic next to something that's very purposeful, which was the building of this facade, the front of the facade of the church.
So I think that I'm getting to a place of starting to feel like it's time to glue this. So let me see.
Yeah, you see this
share
face?
with you if you can see a little.
Oh, let me see.
Oh yeah, beautiful. So let me see if I can share. Which direction am I going?
It doesn't matter, does it? I love all the shapes together. Now I'm wishing that I did that today. That sounds like a fun activity to do. Oh, maybe I could still do it.
Now that I have them all on the page connected to each other.
What are you going to do now?
Well, now, and so the other trick to this is that you don't glue anything until you feel like you've come to the conclusion with the images. And then you kind of assess and then determine how to glue from this point. There is, of course, a little bit of a challenge with getting the things glued on the way that they are currently laying, because I have to take the layers apart, right, to put them back.
Right. Yeah, so it doesn't, it probably won't end up exactly the way
No,
that you
it
intended,
won't.
but close.
It'll be close. And so part of the process is that you're also internalizing, you're really taking in the interrelation of these shapes
Mm-hmm.
and playing a little bit with that. And I'm realizing here that this feels like it needs to go there. And this can come this way. Yeah, okay. So now I need to find a glue stick. Now I have plenty of them somewhere. Ah. Oh, it's all dried out. Let's go to the trash. All right, let me find another. Ooh. Okay. I knew I had a few glue sticks.
I would think that you have a few glue sticks.
You see my bag? Gotta
If
go.
you don't have a few glue sticks, nobody has a few glue sticks.
Oh, and this is going to be a fun exercise in figuring out how many of them are even usable. But.
I mean, they might be dried out.
Yeah, it happens. Dried out or used up is possible too. And I will say that as with many supplies, there is a definitive difference in quality between, dollar store glue sticks and Elmer's glue sticks. Or these are good ones too. The Scotch glue sticks are really good also. The others work in a pinch, and particularly if you need 100 of them for lots of people. But yeah, for when we're in the space of evaluating what's smoother, better, easier, definitely the Elmer's or the Scotch are the ones I prefer. All right, so let's see if I can take these pieces off in a way that I can bring them back. Let's do this.
Oh man. I was so afraid to go to a store that I don't want to go to the art store. I don't even know if it's opened. Jerry's. And I ordered something online the other day, and I think I paid twice the amount that I should be paying for it just because I'm afraid to go to the store.
Well, and that's okay if that's.
Oh, it was Michael's actually. And now I'm thinking I'm going to feel so guilty when I get it. I'm going to want to return it. But it's one thing I really enjoy painting with, you know, my fluorescent paint.
Oh, and you found it. Good.
I believe it's the right one. Yeah. It's
Good.
like this one here, this fluorescent orange. But I even paid for shipping and it didn't accept my coupon. And instead of getting angry, I was just so happy that I had it that I didn't even pay it.
Well,
I was just like,
and you know, and that's one of those examples of allow yourself to be okay with that's what was true for you to get this thing that was important.
right. I just felt like I was being ripped off, but at the same time, I said, you know what? If that's how I'm going to spoil myself, that's the only thing I've purchased for myself besides, you know, some avocados or some food over the last few months.
Yes.
Then I should be okay with it.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
And you know, and the fact that you're making the choice to pay a premium for your personal well-being and your safety, that's, you know, it's not anything you need to apologize for or be sorry about, right? That's
Thank you.
And give yourself permission to be okay with it, because it's simply a choice.
I know. It's just like, obviously I'm obsessed with, you know, our family being on furlough and stuff. I'm just very conscious of every penny that's going out right now.
And so you save a couple of pennies on something else.
It's not going to change my life, put it that way. That's how somebody once said that to me. I wanted to buy a tea kettle and I was hesitant, and they're like, first of all, it's something that you drink every single morning when you wake up.
Exactly. It's really important to you.
Yeah. And is it really going to change your life?
The $20 that you're spending on the tea kettle. Yeah.
But I still think like that. It's crazy. I think having been a single mother at some point in my life changed my whole view of the world. And when I make somebody got upset the other day because I called my paintings on bags bag ladies. But I've always called myself a bag lady because my kids call me a hoarder, because I always save supplies, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
And I call myself a bag lady because I've always saved bags, never knowing when that day would come again, when I was out in the street or when I was desperate to pick the coins off the back of the car seat or whatever it is.
Right.
I've been there. So yeah, I think there's a sense of responsibility in there too.
And I think it's beautiful that we can acknowledge that and that sense of responsibility and awareness that comes from being cautious and careful and deliberate. You know, for me, it's about being deliberate and then knowing that there are opportunities for us to acknowledge that we've gotten ourselves to this place. We are generally careful and conscientious and responsible. And when we have the opportunity to do something for ourselves that is significant in terms of how we live and how we maintain our well-being, then we can also be okay with that and deliberate in our acknowledgement about it. You know,
and say we deserve it, and say, you know what, I deserve that. I deserve that. And I always forget to say that. You're not talking about,
you didn't buy 30 gallons of it and you didn't,
4 ounces.
Right. Stuff is in gold infused and it didn't cost you $1 million, you know.
Right.
And you didn't do it rather than feed your children, right?
Right.
So that kind of a choice.
Right.
So and this is all part of that non-judgment thing, right? To be able to step back and look at all of the potential reasons we would be making ourselves wrong for that kind of behavior and say, but wait a minute, I'm not checking any of the boxes in the wrong column. So why do I still feel like I don't get to have this thing? You know, why do I still feel like I have to justify it to myself?
Why do I feel like I have to be depriving myself to prove, who am I proving it to, first of all?
Right. And still, even after you've made the thing that is again, always interesting to me is after you've made the purchase, right? So you've wrestled with this whole choice, you make the choice, and then you're still wrestling with it because you're contemplating returning it because it's not okay that you've purchased it.
Right, right.
It's that whole buyer's remorse thing that we're so well trained for here in the United States.
You know what it is? It's also having grown up, we grew up in a home where our families were refugees and they came from Europe and they didn't have, and there was always that sense of I never know when I'm going to need it and lack and all this other stuff. So people who grew up here look at it, or even my kids will say, you know, you're hoarding. And I'm looking at like, no, I'm saving just in case I need it.
Yes. Yes.
So if anybody wants some fluorescent paint, I should have some soon. And I could share it.
Yes.
But otherwise it's all mine.
Well, and
And it's in the background.
It's okay to say that.
I don't know what happened to my,
What happened?
Oh, your picture went away. Your screen went away.
there it is. Huh. Am I back?
I don't see
Not
anything.
yet.
Ah, there it is.
There you are. Now you're back.
So I just did the background.
That's pretty.
Oh,
Did you just
awesome.
do that?
This is the background for the collage.
Oh, beautiful.
Beautiful.
What is that? What kind of paper is that?
Oh, this is just watercolor paper. I'm
Beautiful.
just using what I have. Same thing. I'm not buying anything that's
Nothing, right? I'm just using what I have. Which is kind of fun, isn't it?
Oh, I think it's fabulous.
Like
It's like
right now, I'm literally
saving
just
for
going over
anything.
anything that I have in my house.
You know, and what we discover is how resourceful we can be, and
Right,
not
with
from
so
a,
little.
not from a place of deprivation. That's
Mm.
that's the thing. That when you start to appreciate that you're using things that you already have as from a place of being resourceful rather than a place of
Of lack.
yeah, then
Yeah.
it's a really different perspective, and
You could take pride in that, really.
you absolutely
Yeah.
can.
and I can always glue it to a board sometime.
Oh, of course.
Let's see.
I know an artist who actually only does that. He does all of his work on watercolor paper and then he glues it to border canvas because he travels with his artwork and teaches, and it's just easier to stack pieces of paper than it is canvases.
Well, canvases, sure.
So I have a lot of work on watercolor paper that I've either framed or mounted after for that reason. Especially when you're traveling, it's so much easier.
That's a great tip.
Very good.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that easy to do, but if somebody shows you how to do it, it's
I've done
not
it
that
in the
difficult either.
past. It works.
Pardon me?
I've done it in the past and it works, but then it just became easier to use canvas.
Right, right. But the cool thing about what you're doing is at any point you could even, if you decide to change your mind, you can cut that up and turn it into something else.
Yeah,
But it's so pretty as it is right now.
it's going to all be covered anyway. Not all of it. I'm going to leave some of the background.
Right. So there's always some remnants of the past that could show through. It doesn't have to, but it could. Well, I don't know. I'm painting what I think is a grandmother and grandchild right now, and I don't know where they came from, but they showed up. Did anybody see that video the other day? And I loved it, of the grandma who dressed up in a unicorn costume so she could hug her grandchildren.
Oh, how cute. No,
I loved it. And when the Canadian border opens up, if I could get there, I think I'm going to do the same thing, because for 2 weeks I won't be able to see my grandkids.
I have to do the same thing when I
Oh, you
get-
do too?
Yeah, because we have a new baby coming. I'm supposed to help. So I have to go 2 weeks ahead of time.
Right.
And kind of just be careful.
Exactly. Well, that's
And
exciting.
then have the test.
Yeah, but the test isn't really, we won't get into it, but
Right. Well, that's what's
it
required.
might make you feel better if it's positive. Right?
It's required in Vermont, so.
Oh, is
Oh,
it?
is it?
That's good.
That's interesting.
I did read that it's required somewhere else. Oh, that you have to have the COVID test, not antibody test.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read that somewhere else is requiring it, and I can't remember where it was before you go there. In Montreal, when you go to Montreal, you have to quarantine for 2 weeks, and the police do show up at your door, because I know somebody who's there now, her father's ill and she can't go see him, but she's being quarantined.
Mhm.
And the police have come to her to where she's staying twice to make sure that she's actually staying in place.
I like that, actually.
Yeah, I think it's very responsible. Some people might be, it's a police state. Well, you know what? Well, for whose benefit is? For your children or whoever you're visiting, really.
Yeah.
It makes it more complicated, but it's responsible. They wouldn't have to do it if people were being responsible, but people aren't being responsible.
Yeah, something got changed here. And I'm not sure what. Maybe it's that. I think it's that. Maybe this. Go here. This. Yeah, this definitely something got changed there, but that's okay. Wow, it's almost 1:30.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Have to eat lunch.
Yes.
I have to find food.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I have to find this girl who is going to bring us food. I don't know what she usually texts me, but I think I shut off my phone. So
Oh, right, because you didn't want to have.
right, I don't want to have disruption. But
To show you. I love
what are
it.
you doing, Mary? You've been so quiet.
No, I've been listening to you. You helped me agree.
It's good to be quiet. Quiet is fine.
Tell me what you think. So I'll go down that side. So this is. You see it?
No, not at all. Oh,
Oh, it's
I
beautiful.
can't see. Mary, can you bring it closer to the camera?
Oh, nice.
Very pretty. I love that chicken wire.
Nice.
I think I'm going to come over and get some of your chicken wire.
And this is
It
about.
feels so good to get back into the gluing and touching it. And
Yes.
I stapled it. And then,
I can't hear her. Mary's talking, but I can't hear her.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Mary. You're too far away.
stapled the chicken wire onto the back. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I stapled it. And then I cut this.
Do you have one of those big, heavy duty staple guns?
Yes. Yes.
I'd like to get one of those.
Yeah, I have one too. They're really, I don't use it very often, but every time I use it, I'm really glad I have it.
You know what
Because
I'd like to get it for? I'd like to get it for, I've seen people creating I have a wall upstairs, but I don't know how to use a drill I want to drill a piece of wood lengthwise on the wall so I can hang canvases on a big wall and paint big. But I don't know how, so I see people just using canvas and stapling that to the wall. Does that make sense?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I think I'd like to get one of those staple guns to do that. This weather is not good.
Actually,
Well,
as long as it doesn't flood, I just absolutely love the rain.
well, we actually have two rental homes that are being flooded right now.
Oh, no.
And they were supposed to do the roof today, and
That's not good.
last night I went to sleep so worried about this. 2 in 1 week.
Oh, that's,
It's not ours, it's a family thing, but I'm responsible for the
yeah,
mess.
you're the overseer.
Yeah, so I'm like very worried about it. I know
Well,
when I get off,
unfortunately, there's a big storm in the Gulf of Mexico, and this is all week long.
I
Yeah.
know. Definitely concerned about it.
Yeah.
Although I'm creating in a room right now that had a flood a few months ago, and the reason I'm creating here is because it's still not organized, and still I never put the floors down, so I don't care if I make a mess in here. It's
There
it's
you
been very
go.
freeing.
So
So there could be
there
an
was a
advantage.
silver lining, right?
Yes.
This thing. Oh, that works. Got it.
Excited. I think it looks so pretty.
Got it. Finally, that works.
Mary, that's such a nice smile to see when you're looking at your own artwork. You created something out of nothing. That's the coolest part.
Yes. It was all, yeah. Looks very, I'm gonna send it to my sister, I think.
I can't hear.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to my sister.
Oh,
Perfect.
that's
I
sweet.
got Nanette, I found a Bluetooth when I was looking for this thing. And so I'm gonna have a Bluetooth so then I can hear you guys better. Sorry, I my computer.
Oh, good. A headphone. Yeah, that'll make a difference. Yes.
Yeah.
That will definitely help. All right, I need one piece of something. And then I'm done.
This is the best part of this creative group, is that we're all doing something different.
All right, one more grab. Let's see what I can find.
So I found a whole bin. I think I've had it for like maybe 15 years. I've had I used to do a lot of scrapbooking and that kind of thing. But I found a lot of chipboard. It's just blank chipboard. It's
Oh, cool. What are you going to do with it?
So next week I found one that I cut it last night, and it's like in the shape of a house.
It's a what?
Like a house.
A house?
Uh-huh.
Nice.
And you could decorate the house?
I'm gonna decorate that. But I have these other ones too that are in shapes. They're just pegs. They're just long strips of wood.
Yeah.
They're different lengths. And I made it into a Christmas tree.
Oh, cool.
And so I started covering them with paper. And I'm gonna give one to my, I work at, on the weekends, I work at a dog store. And I'm gonna put it up for sale. I'm gonna see if maybe somebody would wanna buy it. I'll put little treats or something on it.
Cool.
I'll see, what it looks like.
Yeah. And can that house be a birdhouse?
Yes, it could. I want to learn how to use this stuff that you guys use, this gesso and all this other stuff. I've never used I've done Mod Podge. I have Nanette knows of the thing in my house that I've done with the clock and stuff.
Uh-huh.
I finished it with that. But I have never done stuff for outside like that. So I have to learn.
Well, I don't know that I'm not saying any of the things I use could be used outside, but
What the heck? We might as well try it. And see.
right,
It can't hurt. And I'm
right,
I
right.
I just spray painted my picnic table, and quite frankly, it looks fine. But I could embellish it, and I could embellish the top, and it would look honestly, it would look fine, you know. And
Yeah, I'm wondering if you what can you use outside? Well, they have the Rust-Oleum paints I know are good for outside.
I did that. I Rust-Oleum painted it, and I did the picnic table or the table on Rust-Oleum paint. But
Cool.
I need to refinish it. And somebody told me you put spreadable cement, real thin though, on it, and
then you can,
or something, and you just place real pretty stones. And God knows, you guys, Nanette knows I have all this jewelry stones
yes.
up in boxes.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do mosaics, and I've never done that. It sounds like a mosaic.
I have a friend who has done that throughout her entire house. Her backsplash, her stairs. She does that with miscellaneous pieces of things. Just
I love that.
Object stuff.
I love that.
Depending on, you know, so if she's doing it on the rough edge of the stairs, the up and down, right, the riser piece, then she doesn't have to worry about it being flat. The one thing you do, she recommended for me when I was thinking about it and then never did it, was that you do want to work with some kind of a leveler. So when you put your things down and you're starting to play with the pattern, before you put your cement down, you want to see if it's going to be on a table, for example.
You can't put a cup down or something.
Right.
Right.
You want to try to make the items be as flat as possible across the top.
Right.
In certain areas.
That makes sense.
Have embellished sections that are higher, but if, you know, in certain spaces, you're going to want to work with the pattern. You know,
put it around in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right. And something
that makes sense.
Build coasters right in the table.
Oh, coasters, same thing.
Yeah. The thing right there. I was like, well, that's interesting.
Yeah, I have
another. No, that's a cool idea too.
We did the whole inside of their old cottage in Pompano with broken tile that she did a mosaic, this beautiful mosaic pattern, and it was all found object tile. And she just a little bit at a time expanded it and did the whole ground floor basically of this 1,000 square foot little cottage.
I'd like to try that.
Let's try that.
Yeah, I'd really like to try something like that.
The old house that I lived in, the entire front was mosaic. The people who lived there before me were an artist and an architect.
Oh, so they did that.
Yeah, unfortunately I moved from there, but it was wonderful just going home every day.
And seeing.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
My idea was like I would do the table like that.
Mm-hmm.
I would do that idea that I thought was really cool. You know those wine bottles that you showed?
Yes.
I would do some of the wine bottles in the middle of the table rather than, because the umbrellas I always have to take during hurricane season. It's just
yes.
And so I was thinking maybe I would put the wine bottles with pretty tea lights or something in them.
Nice.
Good idea.
That's a cool idea.
Right?
Yeah.
Wine bottles so that they would be, you know.
Yeah. Very fun.
I just remembered why I actually used to wear plastic gloves.
Oh.
So I don't have glue covering my entire, that's what I use them
But
for.
it comes up very easily. You know that, right? What kind of glue are you using?
What am I using today? Gloss medium.
Okay, so just hot, warm water and soap should take it off super easy.
Yeah, I just did that, but that's okay. It'll make my skin look younger when I peel.
Yes, and you might spend the day
It's your
peeling your
home-
hands.
It's your home brewed spa treatment. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
So, what was I say? Nanette and I are working on a little project, and but I was just gonna tell you guys, if you're, I'll have some information for you. If you like handbags, we're gonna be doing a handbags for health thing.
Hand.
Painting them?
No,
No, handbags for health.
Handbags.
They're designer bags that'll be auctioned online. Yeah.
You paint on the bags or you make the bags?
no, they're designer bags that are gonna go towards helping for the people that are getting all this COVID stuff.
Where do you get the designer bag? Like, I don't own a designer bag.
Some lady donated it all for us.
Oh, wow.
One of
Are
their
you
donors.
painting on them or just reselling them as is?
Selling them.
Yeah, just
I think we should paint on them.
One is a painted lily bag.
To do a miracle on some of them, but some of them are really. I think Nanette, I'm hooked on that pineapple one.
Oh yeah, that's very cute.
Kara, I think we should just paint on designer bags.
I remember
And Mary and I were
used to
talking
do
about
that in the old days, a plain leather bag.
Yeah.
I would love to start painting on
Well,
bags.
they're selling that online now. I see them very often, painted handbags now.
Yeah.
Well, what we saw, one of the things that Nanette and I talked about, and I really think I want to try to do it, is I would love to try to do the tennis shoes.
The what? Oh,
Tennis-
yeah.
Yeah.
The what?
Tennis shoes, like sneakers.
Oh, yeah.
They have, a lot of people have been doing them, but I would like to do some
Go for it.
yeah, what the hell? You just try them.
Yes.
Like,
Very
Where are you doing this auction?
online.
sell online, but we're gonna do some live stuff and everything. This is such a fun group. This is such a creative group here that you guys have helped me so much. And just like, I used to be like, this is all I used to do, was all this craft and painting and all this stuff, and it all sits in the garage, and I'm so happy I've been able to dig it all out. And with that,
Cool.
all these ideas about other stuff. I'm not so sure where I work is that creative, but they'll love the.
Yes.
Of course your work is creative. How else do you've turned something, you've made something from nothing. I don't think you could be more creative than that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yes.
I
Well,
think
ladies, I hate to cut us short, but I have a 2:00 appointment. So.
How dare you?
Thanks. This was very stimulating and helpful.
So, Kara, do you want to show? Did you get anything glued down yet?
Yeah, it's only half finished. Here, let's see. I actually have implemented the hearts into the whole collage.
Oh, beautiful.
Can you turn it? Let me see.
oh,
Very nice.
Oh, I see. Yes, yes. So the hearts are, yep, they're showing up there. Oh, very nice.
did you frame that, or what do you do with that?
I haven't decided. After I'm finished, it might just go into the collection of things I may sell someday.
Kara, I'll send you a picture of I've done different things with paint skins. I've made like women's dresses on my figures and hearts as well.
Yeah.
And my daughter actually has one of the hearts at home and at her house. And I'm going to send you a picture of what I did with one of the paint skin hearts.
Cool. Yeah, I love paint skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think you were on, Mary, when we first got started, and Kara was sharing with us, she had this, what's really the dripping of, your paints when.
So, well, these are the little ones.
Or wiping off.
Yeah.
Or those were deliberate.
No, these weren't delivered. These are all from my palette.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah, all from the palette. And Gail has done the same thing. And so then you have this multicolored, textured, medium to work with, to cut and to shape and to glue and to use. And it's really quite lovely.
Well, the cool thing is that very often the back side of it is even more interesting than the front side.
Yeah, very fun.
Yeah. And that's something that anybody can do.
Here's a back.
It's very organic.
That it's a discard. It would otherwise, you would just otherwise throw it away.
Right.
Peel it off of either your palette or your wherever it is that you're working.
The back always reminds me of Monet's garden.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love them. I love the
Whenever
back.
I see the back of one, it's like, oh, that's Monet's garden.
I know. Especially when there's gold. For some reason, when there's gold on it, it always looks really cool when there's a metallic.
Painting, I do. I use a heart and gold. It's like my
very pretty.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Thank
You had a question, Mary?
What did you do?
What did I do? Oh, this is my collage. So this,
Oh, I like that.
yeah, it's and
That is beautiful.
It is really pretty.
Oh,
It's just so interesting that the patterns are so fascinating in there.
yeah,
What did you use for your board?
it's just a plain piece of white Xerox paper. I didn't have anything else handy.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, and this process was, simply just letting images speak to me, cutting them out, putting them on the page, and connecting them to each other as it evolved, without any real thought about it, other than the way that the shapes and things felt that they wanted to be placed. And then when they're all placed and you feel like you're at the conclusion, that's when then you glue them all down. So and always in the gluing, there's something that happens, because it's almost impossible to get it taken apart and put back exactly the same way you did. And so that, yeah.
And what do you think you're going to do with that?
What do I think I'm going to do with it?
Yeah.
Yeah, this it will probably just become a part of the collection of these kinds of things. Now that there are quite a few of them, it might be interesting to print them onto cards or something. I don't know.
That would be the coolest T-shirt.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
Say that again. T-shirt.
A T-shirt. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think that would be cool. It's such a pretty color scheme.
Yeah, it is interesting, and it's fun. I love that. I'll leave this now and I'll come back to it tomorrow or the next day, and something will jump off the page that wasn't there before that will inform me. The woman I learned this process from, she did these regularly as an ongoing art journal process, and she would date them and keep them in a binder. So
That's interesting.
This pictorial
history,
of what was going on for her.
Love that.
Is her name Sherry by any chance?
Yeah, I wish I could remember her name, and I need to follow up on that, because she was doing some really interesting other work too, and I can't remember it.
Yeah.
You know what, Nanette, I think I'm going to do that, because right now is such an interesting time.
Right, and so today this called me because I just wanted to not think in the process, just
react.
Just let the things speak to me, and so that's what we got.
You were talking about how things just happen when you glue them down. The horse got torn, so he ended up being on both sides instead of one.
Oh, look at that. Yes.
He split.
Yeah, I love that. Fabulous. And what did you end up with, Gail?
Well, I thought I was going to paint the cover of a old sketchbook, and just as you were talking, I started doing something that I'm liking even better. I didn't paint it. What I did was I just took gesso. It was just a beige color, and I don't know what's happening. Something magical is happening here, but it's hard to see. I just put some gesso on it and then a drop of black Soho black paint, acrylic paint. And then I took a chopstick, and then I started to notice it was like peeling. Something's peeling off of it. I don't
Yeah.
know why.
That's
But
nice.
it's making the most interesting designs. And then I just started scraping into it botanicals, just looking at the leaves outside. So I don't know if you could see, but
Yeah.
I'm just scraping through the black, and the beige is actually, I'm glad I didn't cover it up completely because it looks so pretty.
Yeah, I like that.
Nice.
So I don't really know what it is or what it's going to be, but it's going to be a cover for this
Oh, look
sketchbook.
at that. Very nice. Very nice.
It's really hard to see.
Yeah, yeah, it's coming through. We can see the layer and the way that the etching is pulling the paint, which is
Yeah, but these parts here, I don't know how it's happening, but it's very cool. So I'm enjoying just not thinking, again, also like you guys are doing, and just playing.
nice. Beautiful. Well, thank you, ladies, again.
Thank
for
you,
coming,
Nanette, again.
joining us and coming together and sharing your creative energy and your just love. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Next time. Bye.